Thorns.
No problem.
Were you watching the game last night, obviously? What'd you think?
No, what? Well, it's brilliant, obviously, for the sport. I think in general, I think most people at the beginning thought we would win it, and then after the initial group stage, everyone was a bit worried, I think, and started to pick Japan or maybe Germany, and I think Jill and the girls stayed confident, and it was a great performance in the final. I think just the kind of performance I think we need as a country with the growth in the women's game in this country, and it was great for our league too, obviously, with so many players from the league playing, so thumbs up to them for sure.
Proud of your own players?
Yeah, they did great, and obviously Tobin scoring, you could see her face, and I just listened to the Spanish commentator announce the goal on Tobin's goal before it came out. It was just unbelievable, you know. So he sent it to Tobin this morning, but Alex played really well, I thought, you know, held the ball up well and just caused a lot of problems in the game. And Japan's backline for the first time really got exploited, and you know, they looked all over the show. And the goalkeeping obviously was something we'd actually talked about as a team before, that maybe the downfall. And I think she was under a lot of pressure after making those early mistakes, and then it was all over after that. And Carly liked to see her come out of her shell. I mean, what a performance. I mean, you look at big players on big moments, she's always that type of player. And hats off to all of them. I mean, there wasn't a bad performance amongst them. Even the subs that came in did well. And I mean, you look at the bench, you know, when they're running around the field at the end, I'm thinking, oh my God, A-Rod didn't play, Press didn't play, Box didn't play. And you go on and on, Heather O'Reilly didn't play. I mean, there's an awful lot of deep talent there. And I think the other teams, at the end of the day, maybe they don't have the talent level and depth that we still have, and that's maybe the difference. And I think I agree with Julie Fowley in the fact that I think it's the second line of teams that have got better. The first round of teams, like the French, the Germans, the Americans, they're still the best teams, but it's the second line, which is the English and those type of teams. I have to say that, you know. Jodie told me to say that actually on camera this morning. You know, I think they've got better, and I think that bodes well for it. The African countries are getting better too, so it's exciting.
Kind of depth you wouldn't have seen even 10 years ago or so.
Oh, there's no way. I mean, you wouldn't have seen a World Cup game like that 10 years ago. I mean, some of the games in the tournament, I look back, the France-Germany game was a classic game, and I think there was some really fabulous moments in the World Cup. And yeah, there was also the usual, you know, I see all the funny ones, the funny things that happened in the World Cup. They were showing a lot of them, so that was funny too. But you know, some of the performances were great, individual, team performances, different tactics. I mean, for me, a coach, I was looking at the tactical end of it, and the difference between Japan and the United States and Germany and Spain, and they all had something different to offer, and it was great to see. And I'm just pleased for the sport that there's so much, you know, going on for it, and so much fan base. And I went to Vancouver to watch a game, and the atmosphere outside the stadium was fantastic. And there's a lot of Canadians out there, not many English, so I was hiding in the corner, you know. But just to see that in this sport, and you know, it's arrived in Canada. We had the '99 World Cup when it arrived here, and it did a lot for the sport here. But I think for Canada, it's done an awful lot. In England, it's done an awful lot. France, I think, has done a lot, and it's obviously going to the World Cups, going to Canada, to France next. So I think it's going to be massive in France.
You've mentioned kind of how important it is for the U.S. to win, and for the league and soccer here. What do you think now? We're going to see any immediate impacts or anything? Well,
I hope so. I mean, I hope there's going to be bumps at the gates for all the teams in the league, obviously, when all the players come back. And I think there will be, certainly will be in Portland, I'm sure. You know, Seattle's our next home game on the 22nd, and Hope's coming, Rapinoe, as well as Alex and Tobin coming back. And all our players will be back then, so we'll have everyone at full strength. So I think if you're going to buy a ticket, that would be an awful good game to buy a ticket for, which is the first one back. But I think all the teams expect the bump, and I'd be shocked if you don't get a bump. In WPS, we got a major bump after the World Cup, and I think there's so many people that watched it. I mean, you could walk anywhere in Portland and everybody was watching the game, didn't matter where they were. And I think all over the country you saw that, and all over the world. So I'm hoping it's a bump for the sport. We've got obviously the games coming on TV now, which will be another bump for us. And it's a matter of, can you sustain it in October, November, for people to go out and buy season tickets for next year and stuff, with it being an Olympic year. So that's our next struggle, and hopefully we can all do it and all sell more tickets, and you know, get better players, get better foreign players, get better American players, and keep building. And you know, the US have a quick turnaround to the Olympics, so who knows, they're going to bring some more younger players in. But you know, Jill did it, so hats off to Jill and all the players.
Big bump as far as players are concerned, getting young kids excited about getting out there and dreaming big.
Well, there's a lot of people I've met that weren't soccer fans about a month and a half ago that are huge soccer fans right now, watching the Thorns, watching the World Cup, and it all seems to be a combination of things. And I'm talking a lot of soccer moms and their kids who are playing at maybe 7 or 8 and really haven't been, you know, exposed to this kind of level football, and they're really into it now. It's amazing to see when people are talking about it like they know the players. I'm like, wow, that's impressive, you know. And I think the other side of it is the game in general. is the growth of the game and our ability to, at the professional level, to expand into countries and the leagues to improve in Germany, in Sweden, in England, in France, in the US. We need to improve all the leagues, and this is our opportunity. This is everybody's opportunity, not just here, but everyone's opportunity to improve it. And I hope this gives us a major impact both at home and abroad.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of your players?
Yeah, I met with Jodie Taylor this morning. She's in, so she was excited about the experience, and she wished she was fully healthy for the tournament, obviously going in. Sinks meet me this afternoon. Sinks in town, so I'll meet with her this afternoon. Nadine came in this morning, met with Nadine, and it's great to hear the different stories, and they played against each other, and they all have a different perspective of what the World Cup meant, because some were expected to win, and some were expected just to show up, and those who expected to show up and got to semi-finals were pretty happy, and those who were playing for the third place game weren't so happy, that probably expected to play for the World Cup final. So it's a great, but it's just the experience of it, and just by watching Alex and Tobin's tweets and watching the text messages back, they thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great team performance across the board, and you see all the tweets from all the famous people, even our president noted, watching the game, so it's just amazing, man. I hope he comes to one of our games.
A good POTUS tweet to look it up.
Yes, definitely.